The sun hung low over my Tenica spread in Willow Creek, Montana, on a crisp September morning in 2024, casting golden rays across the sturdy pine fence I just finished building. Sweat still clung to my brow as I stepped back to admire the work 6-foot planks, strong enough to keep my 4 horses safe and honor the dream my granddad sketched out decades ago. I'd saved for months, pouring every spare dime from my sheriff's salary into this project. 8 years as Dawson County's top lawman had taught me to plan meticulously, and this fence was built to stand for generations. But trouble, as it often does, came knocking before I could even wash the sawdust off my hands. The pounding on my door wasn't a neighborly tap, it was the kind of racket that makes you think someone's house is burning down. Boots crunching on the gravel drive, I opened the door to find Marla Hensley, president of the Pineview Meadows HOA, standing there like a storm cloud in a garish orange dress, her chunky necklace glinting like a warning sign. "Caleb Morgan," she snapped, jabbing a manicured nail at my chest, "that fence is a blight on our community, and I'm ordering you to tear it down now." I leaned against the doorframe, arms crossed, keeping my cool despite the heat rising in my gut. "Morning to you too, Marla. That fence is on my land, well outside your HOA's reach." I double-checked the property lines before I drove the first post. She tossed her head back, a practiced move I'd seen her use to bully neighbors into submission. "Doesn't matter," she huffed. "Your eyesore is visible from the road, dragging down property values for all of Pineview. As HOA president, I have the authority to make you remove it." I couldn't help but smirk. Marla had ruled our little suburban enclave like a queen for 4 years, ever since her ugly divorce left her with too much time and a hunger for control. Across the street, my neighbor Hank Larson emerged from his garage, wiping grease from his hands. Hank ran the local tire shop and had been dodging Marla's petty HOA fines for years, everything from parking his work van in his driveway to planting unapproved roses. He spotted Marla on my porch and hollered, "Hey, Caleb, is the neighborhood tyrant griping about your fine new fence?" Marla spun around, her face reddening. "Hank Larson, this isn't your business. Stay out of it." Hank just chuckled, winking at me. "Marla's putting on a show again, buddy. Grab some popcorn." Things spiraled fast. By noon, Marla had slapped a handwritten "Remove this fence" sign on my gate, complete with photos of my fence shot from angles that made it look like a fortress. She claimed it was uglier than her last book club potluck. Hank texted me a picture of the sign with a note, "Check out this drama queen's latest stunt." Reading her lies calling my fence an aggressive barrier and a symbol of hostility made my jaw tighten. By mid-afternoon, Marla was live streaming her meltdown, her phone shaking as she ranted about my monstrosity ruining the neighborhood's charm. From my kitchen window, I watched her flail like a cornered bobcat, her voice carrying through the glass. "This is what happens when people think they're above community standards," she shrieked. I wasn't about to let her nonsense slide. That evening, I pulled out my property survey and permits, confirming what I already knew: my ranch sat on land never touched by Pineview's HOA. The 1982 subdivision maps were crystal clear. Smiling to myself, I realized Marla had picked a fight with the wrong guy. I wasn't just a rancher, I was the sheriff, and I knew how to play the long game. The next morning, I rigged up a discreet security camera system, tucking the lenses among the pines and fence posts. If Marla wanted to keep up her circus, I'd have every act on tape. As I adjusted the final camera, Hank strode over with 2 steaming mugs of coffee. "Expecting trouble?" he asked, handing me one. I nodded toward Marla's house, where she was pacing her porch, probably plotting her next move. "She's itching for a fight, Hank. I'm just making sure I'm ready." Marla's next jab came in the form of a letter, demanding I demolish the fence by sunrise or face a lawsuit. She hinted it was her chance to save face after her divorce. Gripping a faded photo of my granddad, his grin fueling my resolve, I vowed to protect his dream. Hank swung by, chuckling. "She's desperate, Caleb. Her HOA crown slipping." That night, I attended the Pineview HOA meeting at the community hall, a place I usually avoided since I wasn't a member. Marla's fence rant had stirred up 30 neighbors, and I wanted to set the record straight. She slammed photos of my fence onto a projector, snarling about its hideous impact. I stepped forward, heart pounding for Granddad's legacy, and held up my survey. This land's mine, Mala. Check the law. Her small grin faltered as the room went quiet. I laid out my documents, stating calmly, Mala's letter has no legal weight. It's harassment, plain and simple. Mamas rippled through the crowd, and I saw doubt flicker in their eyes. Mala's grip on the room was slipping. The next morning, I woke to find my fence damaged, post splintered, tire tracks in the dirt. My cameras had caught the culprit, Mala's SUV, scraping the post at 2:30 a.m. Before speeding off. Hank whistled as we watched the footage. She's gone from yelling to felony property damage, Caleb. I nodded, jaw tight. Instead of confronting her, I added more cameras and motion-activated red LED lights that blinked like angry eyes in the dark. I also set up alerts to ping my phone if anyone skulked around at night. Hank helped test the system, grinning as the lights flashed. I wasn't just defending a fence anymore, this was about standing up to a bully who thought she could steamroll anyone. Mala's campaign hit a new low 3 nights later. My phone buzzed at 1:15 a.m., yanking me from sleep. The camera feed showed Mala, her voice crackling through a speakerphone, directing 2 hired thugs to break it and make it look like storm damage. My chest tightened, picturing my horses stumbling over jagged boards. I grabbed my phone, filming from the shadows as the men pried off 8 planks, snapping some and tossing others into the pasture. Mala paced, texting furiously, oblivious to my cameras. I bolted outside, chasing their van's taillights, nearly catching them red-handed. The gap in my fence was big enough for a truck to drive through, and my horses wandered too close for comfort. At dawn, Hank arrived with donuts, shaking his head at the wreckage. She's lost it, Caleb. This is serious now. Instead of calling the cops right away, I played it cool. I spent the morning photographing the damage and preserving evidence, then called my deputy, Lucas Reed, for an off-the-record consult. Lucas, a sharp 32-year-old who'd worked under me for 4 years, watched the footage and whistled. This is airtight, Sheriff. Criminal mischief, conspiracy, you could lock them up today. I told him to hold off. Mala was digging her own grave, and I wanted her to keep shoveling. That afternoon, she posted online, claiming my fence had collapsed, endangering kids and pets. She included photos that hid the broken boards. But not everyone bought it. Neighbor Clara Bennett commented, I saw those boards in Caleb's pasture. That's no collapse site vandalism. Mala deleted Clara's post, blaming wind for the debris. Hank chimed in, funny how wine snaps boards so cleanly. Mother Nature's getting crafty. That evening, Clara showed up at my gate, guilt in her eyes. Caleb, I saw flashlights by your fence last night, she confessed. Mala asked me to lie about it collapsing, but I can't. I saw those men. I showed her edited footage, just enough to confirm her story, and her jaw dropped. She's gone too far, Clara said, agreeing to write a statement. I had everything now, video, photos, Clara's testimony, and ironclad legal docs. But I held back, waiting for the perfect moment. The next morning, dispatch called about a 911 complaint Mala, claiming I'd slashed her tires. I met Lucas at my place, playing along with the report. Then I walked to Mala's house, shoulders slumped, and fed her a lie. I tear down the fence in 3 days, I said, voice low. Her eyes lit up. Glad you're seeing reason, Caleb. Back home, I called Hank. You're setting her up, aren't you? He laughed. I nodded, leaking the vandalism video to a local news station with the caption HOA tyrant caught. They promised to air it within 24 hours. Clara texted, warning that Mala was planning a fence demolition party to humiliate me publicly. I smirked, knowing her victory lap was about to crash. Saturday dawned clear and cool, and by 9 a.m., 20 neighbors gathered outside my ranch, some with coffee, others with lawn chairs, ready to watch me grovel. Mala stood front and center, beaming in a neon green dress, checking her watch like a queen awaiting tribute. Instead, I strolled out with a laptop and portable speaker, setting them up on my porch. The crowd hushed as Mala's smile wavered. "Caleb, shouldn't you be starting?" she called. I grinned. "Oh, I'm starting, Mala. But first, let's clear up some lies." I hit play, and the vandalism footage filled the screen. Mala directing the thugs, her voice crisp. Gasps erupted. "It's fake," she screamed, but I kept going, showing her live stream rants, her deceptive emails, and photos of her measuring my fence for her victory party. I held up my surveys. "Every plank is on my land, outside your HOA." Mala spent weeks lying, vandalizing, and harassing me. Clara shouted. She threatened my orchard to make me lie. The crowd turned on Mala, voices rising in anger. She snatched my speaker, yelling, "The fence is still ugly," before bolting. Neighbors swarmed me with apologies, offering to fix the damage. By dusk, they'd rebuilt my fence with premium pine and fancy post caps, turning it into a work of art. Hank clapped my shoulder. "This is community, not Mala's dictatorship." But Mala wasn't done. Sunday morning, my phone lit up with notifications. She'd posted a 10-minute video, mascara strict and hysterical, claiming I'd stalked her, threatened her kids, and rigged cameras to spy on her house. She shared it across regional forums, and it went viral. Strangers called me a bully, some even planned a protest at my ranch. Another 911 call followed, Mala alleging I'd made threatening gestures and disrupted her family with my loud repair party. Lucas arrived, exasperated. "She's unhinged, Sheriff." Clara appeared, showing Lucas text from Mala threatening fines if she didn't lie. The neighborhood chat exploded as others shared stories of Mala's bullying, fake fines, rumor-mongering, intimidation. The tide had turned, but Mala's final 911 call that night claiming I was outside her house with a gun nearly sparked disaster. Lucas warned me to stay inside as armed deputies rolled in. My cameras proved I'd been home, and the officers left fuming at Mala's lies. Monday morning, Mala called 911 again, accusing me of vandalism and arson threats. Lucas called, fed up. "4 false reports in 5 days, Sheriff. It's time." We walked to Mala's house, where she answered in a sharp blazer, expecting my arrest. Lucas spoke first. "Ma'am, you've been filing complaints against Sheriff Caleb Morgan, my boss and Dawson County's elected lawman." Mala's face went white, her knees buckling. "Impossible," she stammered. I flashed my badge. "Every lie, every call, every vandal you hide, I've got it all. Did you think I wouldn't investigate?" She collapsed into a chair, mumbling, "I didn't know." Lucas laid it out: false reports, harassment, property destruction or felonies. Her war against me, the sheriff, had backfired spectacularly. I gave her a choice. Resign as HOA president, apologize publicly, pay for my fence, and move out in 30 days. Do it, and I recommend community service over jail. Tears streaming, Mala nodded. By noon, she'd resigned, posted a cut apology admitting her lies and vandalism, and cut me a check. Her house hit the market that evening. Clara took over as interim HOA president, vowing fairness. As the sun set over my restored fence, my horses grazing peacefully, I marveled at how Mala's own arrogance had unraveled her reign. My fence stood tall, a testament to truth over tyranny. Sometimes, the best way to beat a bully is to let them swing until they knock themselves out. So, what do you think? Was I too harsh letting Mala think she'd won before dropping the hammer, or did she deserve every bit of that public takedown? Should neighbors have the right to dictate what you build on your own land, or is personal property sacred? And how far would you go to protect your family's legacy from a tyrant like Mala? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button if you're team fence, and subscribe for more wild neighbor showdowns. Let's keep this fire burning.